So, with the 7th installment coming out next month on the 27th, there's a lot of hype for Scream 7. And great, Scream is probably one of the most consistent horror slasher franchise out there. But I do have some concerns, and I thought I would just talk about them, just spill my guts, as they say. So, it's no secret that they have already announced returning cast. Spoiler alert if you don't know, but everybody knows. It's been on every fucking social media site out there. So I'm concerned that because of all these characters that are coming back, they've already confirmed Roman from Scream 3 is coming back. Dewey. There was speculation that Billy was coming back, but he's not coming back. Skeet has already said he's not coming back because of, the incident of the last movie, and we'll talk about that too, don't worry. But returning characters, Jill, all these characters that are confirmed dead, and they've confirmed that they're all coming back. And my concern is that Kevin Williamson, it kind of makes me think that they don't have enough faith in this movie, to do well at the box office or to do well by fans. I feel that the fact that they've told us something that I genuinely and strongly think should have been kept a secret until you watch the movie yourself. You go to the theater and you hear a voice, you're like, holy shit, that's Roman. How cool of an experience would that have been? If we had no knowledge of any of this, how kick-ass would it be to go to the theaters, either see them? I don't think we're going to see them personally. I think they're only back to do voice work. And I have a theory on that, which I'll talk about in this video. But it would be so cool if you heard their voice and you're like, holy shit, this is them. And you would see genuine reactions. Because we know, and we're going to be looking for the voices. We're going to be listening, expecting, is it going to be this? It's just not the same. Because we know, our brains are aware that these characters are going to re-emerge in some form. And yeah, I think that they didn't have any faith in this movie after the whole incident with, Scream, after Scream 6, when Melissa got fired and, there was a big backlash about it. I think they don't have any faith in this movie, so they threw out all these spoilers to try and get us hooked and reel us back in, because they didn't have any faith in this movie performing well on its own. That's what I think personally. Could be wrong, but that's just my own thoughts. I think it really should have been kept a secret. And my theory, as I said, I think they're only back to do voice work. They're heavily implying that Stu is alive. That's been very heavily, even in Scream 6, there was the TV. Isn't that the TV that killed Stu Macker? If you believe that. They're really hammering it into our heads that he might still be alive. You never know. And if he does turn up in this movie alive in present day, they would have to really give a good explanation as to why he's back. They can't just, pull something on, like in EastEnders, someone just comes back and they give this shitty little throwaway line as to how they're alive after like 20 years. So, they really have to give a genuine reason. Was he in witness protection? Why would he be in witness protection? There's so many dots that they really have to, in depth, just give a good explanation and not be lazy and say, oh, I was in hiding the whole time. Something stupid. So that's my hopes. I hope that if he comes back, and I'm going to be honest, if he doesn't come back in this movie, I'm not going to be mad. I'll be honest, I did expect him to actually show up in Scream 6. Because it would have made more sense. The old ragged mask, like if that was Stu's original mask and he kept it, it would have made sense as to why it's decrepit. And with all of the other costumes and, that would have been the movie I feel he should have been in. It would have made the most sense. Missed opportunity, in my opinion. Especially with how predictable the Ghostface's identities were, in my opinion, anyway. But, so if he doesn't turn up in this movie, I'm not going to be mad, because I thought he would be back in the movie. I was disappointed. The fact that he didn't turn up and the fact that the killers were crap and made no sense and it was stupid. So that's sort of in there in my head. So in this movie, I'm not expecting him. And if he does turn up, cool, awesome. But you better give a good fucking reason as to why you're here. That's what I'm going to be looking for. But the other characters that have been confirmed to come back, Roman, Jill, I think it's only for voice work. And my theory on that is this Ghostface in Scream 7 is going to mentally torture Sidney with AI voices. I think that's what's going to happen, and that's where those characters will be brought in. I think, you imagine, uses Dewey's voice to Sidney and says something like, you could have prevented me from dying, something like that, to really hammer home, genuine mental torture. So that's what I think. I think it's just going to be AI. I think the actors are back and the actors are giving the lines, but in the movie, it'll be Ghostface will be using AI voice spots or whatever to torture Sidney and probably to keep them all off the scent. So that is my theory. And I hope, I don't really want to see them come back on screen because that means they have to de-age. And de-aging, in my opinion, always looks so out of place and it looks rough. You look at it and that's computer generated face and it takes you out of the immersion. At least for me personally. Maybe some people like it. But that's what I think, So I think just keep the voices. That's the more realistic approach and that's, the most usable story-wise that you could do. And it'll just make more sense. But yeah. Now, I know there's a trailer. Personally, I do not watch trailers at all because they give way too much away. If they didn't tell us before the trailer dropped that these characters were coming back and the actors are coming back, the trailer probably would have told us. So I just stay away from trailers in general, and they give far too much away, and yeah, it's got me multiple times. Multiple movies have been ruined for me because of the trailer. So I just don't bother anymore. And I know some people are probably going to think, well, if you haven't seen the trailer, you can't judge the fucking movie, can you? That's not the point. The point is, about the spoilers. And listen, this could come out and this could be the best one yet. This could be the best Scream since Scream 2 or, really this could just, you never know. Maybe. I'm not shutting it down. Maybe it will. And I hope I'm proven wrong. I do not want to sit here and review this movie and say it's bad. I really, really don't want that. Genuinely, I really don't. I'm a horror fan too. I love Scream. You know, I want to go into the movie and I want to be able to enjoy it as well. And that's my hope. That's what I'm hoping for in this movie. I'm hoping it's going to be great. I'm hoping that they amplify these returns well. I hope they don't just waste them or, you know, with something really silly. And they have to make sense. But yeah, like I said, my hopes are that it's going to be a great movie. And I think it might be because I've seen screenshots, I've seen pictures of him and the house, the original house from the very first Scream on fire. Like, once again, heavily implying Stu, because it's Stu's house. So, and the shot looks cool. It gives me Halloween Kills vibes. You know, the fire and house and Ghostface there. Awesome. Love that shot. It looks badass. So I'm hoping this movie is going to be great. I really do. And I really, really hope that the Ghostface genuinely surprises me this time. Because the last two movies, I pretty much called it in the first 20 minutes, and I was right. So hopefully we genuinely will get surprised. So that'll be fun. And yeah, like I said, my concerns were, well, I've already said them, and I'll not go around in circles, you know, rack your heads. So I'm sorry if I have done that. I just hit record and sat here and just threw my thoughts out. So I didn't really think about what way I was going to say it, anything, or structure. There was no structure to this subject. So I apologize if it's all over the place. So yeah, let me know in the comments below. Are you excited for Scream 7? Do you have any concerns about it? Do you think it's going to be the best one yet? And yeah, let me know in the comments and we'll talk about it. And if you stuck around this long, thank you so much for watching. I wholeheartedly appreciate it, and I appreciate all of you. And as always, you know, don't kill anyone.